What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Mayrand podcast. Today, my guest is Mikael Kingsbury. Mick is a legendary mogul skier who has won the silver medal in the Sochi Olympics and the gold medal in the Pyeongchang Olympics. He has so many World Cup wins and crystal globes that they're hard to count at this point. We talked about his upbringing and what led him to be where he is today. He also gave me a crash course on mogul skiing, the rules, regulations, and the current state of everything on that side. We talked about the Pyeongchang Olympics and the pressure he had going in when he was the favorite. We also discussed his future and the plans he has for the next Olympics and beyond. It was a great chat with Mick, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's go. Mick, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. I'm glad to get to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm happy too.
Because up to now, I've only talked to people that I already knew, but for the listeners we've never met, this is the first time we're meeting. So I'm glad to chat with someone who's done a lot in skiing, but I'm going to discover everything because I don't know much about you except the big lines. Tell me your whole story. Where did you grow up? How did you start skiing? How did you get into it?
So I grew up in Deux-Montagnes, Quebec. I started skiing. I was about 3 or 4 years old. Can't remember. I come from a family. My mom used to be a skier. Then she teach my dad when they didn't have kids how to ski. They bought a cabin on Mont Saint-Sauveur, ski out. So when I was 4, I was pretty much living every weekend on the slope. And I was the kind of kid that, my parents wanted us to do like more racing at the beginning. And my brother went into racing, and I was the kind of kid that was just always using like the little jump on the side of the slope. And I like jumping in the air. And my parents, they always told me that when I was jumping like on their diving boards at home or on the trampoline, I was like super natural in the air. And it's like I was learning myself without no one teaching me how to flip. And I was like actually very good at it and not scared. So when I was like about 8, there was like a group of skiers in Mont Saint-Sauveur that looked very cool into my eyes. And it was the mogul team in Saint-Sauveur. So that year I decided to join the team, and it just went from there. And a lot of years passed, and I watched my first Olympic on TV. I was like 10 or 11 in Salt Lake City. And this is where I was like, I want to go at the Olympics for mogul skiing and win a gold medal. So that's, the story. The big line story behind my
I'm
my
curious,
career.
when you saw that Olympics and you said, oh, I want to be there someday, was it in terms of having a dream of being on that stage, or was it, believing in yourself and saying, oh, I think I have the talent that I could go there someday?
Yeah, when what I can remember is when I was watching on TV, I thought those guys were just skiing so fast, and the angle of the camera like on the side was like very cool to see how fast they were going. And I was like, I hope one day I will be as fast as them, and people on TV would be like, oh, look, Kingsbury is so fast. And
So at that point you were doing moguls already?
Yeah, I was doing moguls. Like I started like 2 years before. So some of the guy like Jean-Luc Brassard, I knew like his name, and I was like, super excited to watch them ski. And
was he still there at Salt Lake City? Like who were the
it was
guys?
Pretty much his last event.
So you were watching Jean-Luc, who's a legend.
Yeah, he's a
hometown legend.
Yeah. And it's nice because now like we're very close. I know him very well, but like back then he was like the idols for most of the mogul skier. And even like he was skiing with the people that kind of create the like freestyle, how do you say that, like Cusson or Dorion are also mogul
movement.
skier. So these were kind of like the guys that I was watching. They were not at the Olympic there, but anyway, and after that I was just like 10 or 11. I don't know why I did that, but I print the Olympic rings, and I wrote I will win, and I put it like above my bed. It's still there right here at home.
That's such a big thing of visualization, but as you said, it was probably not even taught. Like,
yeah,
you didn't even think about it. It was just natural of doing it.
Yeah. Just I remember it was just so cool to seeing that the Finnish guy that won is Janne Latela, who became kind of like my idol after that. It was just so cool to see him win. He looked so happy and like his run was so sick. And I was like, I wanna do that. And I was like the kind of kid in my head, I kind of knew I didn't want to just go to the Olympics, or I didn't want to just ski World Cups. Like I always saw myself winning, like wearing the yellow bib, which is when you're the World Cup leader, kind of like the Tour de France. And I saw myself like winning the Olympic, not finishing second or third or whatever, just being an Olympian. I always saw myself when I was small, like at the top, which I think is one of the reasons why I've accomplished so much in my sport. Is since I'm a kid, I always believe and saw myself being able to do all these things. So.
Yeah, it definitely helps being at the start gate, the whole mental state of mind of wanting to be the first. It certainly helps a lot more than, kind of being defensive or, it's definitely the best way of going at it. Is that a way you always been, like in life, in school, or in other sports?
Yeah, I've always been very competitive. I mean, I love to win, but everyone likes to win. But it's weird because when I ski, I don't ski like, and my mental, my mindset is not like I'm skiing because I want to win. It's more like I know I can win if I ski like for myself, and I do the stuff that I need to do, or I ski at my potential. And I prefer focusing on the process, on what I need to do, and like we can say like strategy of race or whatever. I prefer focusing on that and being like, okay, I ski for like the outcome, like for the results. Because I know if I do my process and I do all the stuff that I usually do, and I focus on my run, then usually my run is better. Then I put myself in a way better position to win at the end.
It seems like it's a lot of you having confidence in your abilities.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And not like, I hate to like look at my competitors and be like, he's doing that, so I got to do this more or whatever. I am confident that my run is good enough to win. And when you start focusing on the others, then they're in the better position to win because your focus is not on you, it's on others. So yeah, it's like me against me. If I can beat myself, I can win any race. Mm-hmm. But like if I start like trying to be faster than the US guy and faster than the Japanese and the French guy, then like, yeah, I like shoot myself in my foot.
Yeah, and it's a good strategy because you're not doing ski cross where you're racing against like someone's next to you. Like when you're doing your run, most of the time you're alone. Like you're not.
Yeah, at the Olympic, it's like it's a single event, so you're skiing. Yeah, single. You're like it's like a slopestyle run. Mm-hmm. But in World Cup we have duels, which is kind of cool. You go against someone. It's like more a race, and yeah, this is exciting.
So were you always dominant? Like when you grew up, how were you as a mogul skier, like in your local resort and then on the other stuff?
Yeah, the first contest I did in moguls, I was not very good. I mean, back in the days, there were not that many categories. It was like you compete on the 14 minus or the 14 oldest.
Oh yeah.
So my first year, I don't even remember my results. Like
so, if you're 9 years old, you
I was. But that was like back in the days. Then they created categories more by age because there was not enough mogul skier back then. And when they created categories, the first year I did like the 12 and under or something like that. Every contest, I think I had four contests or 5. I finished 4th at every event. And I was like, this sucks because, there was always the same 3 guy, like the first 3 race, same position, and I was always 4th. And the last race, I think 2 of the guys that are always on the podium, they crashed both of their runs. So I was like, this is my window. But then no, this one finished 4th again. 2 other guys that usually were behind me passed me.
Oh yeah.
And then the year, I think after that, when I was like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, pretty much won every contest.
That's crazy.
In my group age. And even like the junior national championship, pretty much won every junior.
So was that year where you finished fourth all the time? Was that a motivating factor?
Yeah, I think it was good motivation. I can't remember. I was like 10, 11. I was pretty young, but yeah, after that, yeah, I started skiing with more confident or whatever. You're still a kid, like not more confident, but I was just sending a bit more. I knew what the guys like, the tricks they were doing. I was like, if the winner's doing that, then next year I need to do that, but better. And then like little 360 and.
What were the tricks like at that time for you?
Younger, I was just a spread eagle and a twist, and then it went to be like double twister and like a twister spread, and then a 360 straight, 360 with like a cross, 360 mute. Then they allowed flipping, but you had to be 13 or 14 to start flipping. You know, mogul skiing, they always put few rules, and in Quebec now there's no more of that rules, but back in the days that was the rule. And the year I was able to do like backflip, like loop, cork 7, I was like 12 or 13. They were like, oh no, you're too young to do it, which made me pissed because I was doing it way better than other guys that were older. But at the same time, it was a good year for me because then I started doing like 720s, 1080s, and just trying to learn how to beat those guys with no flips.
You were getting ready for when you would be at that age.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was very good. And then after that, yeah, the tricks when I started flipping, my first year flipping, it was right away. I was doing pretty much backflip and cork 7 at 13 or 14. Then it was like, starting to do like more back fulls and cork 7 and. Yeah, and then it went up very fast to be double full cork 10, and it still kind of is today. I mean, I can do cork 1440s. The jumps are not very big, so it's hard to go and push and do new tricks, and yeah.
So do you do cork 14s in your runs?
Yeah, I'm the first one to land it in contests ever in mogul skiing, and I won with it, so it's cool. I've done it 3 times in World Cups. So 2 times in duels. And 1 time in single. And dual is kind of crazy.
So your more stock trick is cork 10?
Yeah, usually the stock run I have, it depends on the course, but usually back double full, it's like a backflip 2 twist straight and cork 10 on the bottom. Now this year I'm trying to work on a run. It's cork 10 truck driver and cork 1440 or cork 1440. I've done some double corks 10 in the moguls. This is very sick. It's not allowed yet. Yeah. I'm kind of bummed because it's way easier than like 1440. 1440 is like a spin to win where you can't see much because it's on the mogul jump. I mean, you're not on the 100-foot jump.
You've posted a video of a dub 10 that you've done on Instagram. Yeah, they look so sick. Like it's a dub 10 mute with like your mute grabbed at the nose. Like it's something that I feel if it would be on a mogul run, it would be so dope.
Oh yeah. It's I'm excited to compete it, but like I have an idea in my head. Most of the people, they don't know like the history of moguls, but like when they start the flipping stuff in moguls, Johnny Mosley did a cork 7 at the Olympics in 2002 with his head not down, flat. So that counted. So if it's possible to do a dub 10 with your head flat.
It counted because he wasn't going upside down. Because he wasn't allowed to.
He wasn't allowed to go upside down back then. And because of that, they were like, okay, now we can go upside down.
So right now, you're not allowed to do a double cork. Is that it?
I'm not allowed to do a double cork because it's a double.
So you would have to do kind of what we call in the park scene, like kind of a double wobble.
Exactly. And that's what I'm working on. And if you see the one I did on Instagram on the mogul course, the last one I did is pretty flat. And this is like limit. And the goal one day is to do it like that. And I remember Johnny Mosley called his cork 7 the dinner roll.
Okay.
I want to call it the double dinner roll. So it's
sick.
Like, no, it's just double 10, but yeah, like double wobble. And if I do that and they like, okay, it's okay, it pass, then I think it's our window opening for doubles and moguls because I've been pushing for a long, long time.
But who is they? Like, who is choosing? Who is the council members?
FIS, and I guess every country in moguls. I guess every few years they pass a vote. I think Canada is 4 doubles. There's a few other countries. The thing is, what I feel is it's always been the best guys in moguls that can do it. So right now, the 3 guys that I know can do like very nice doubles are myself, Ikuma, the Japanese guy, is 2nd in the world, and Ben Cave, French guy, who is 3rd in the world. So they're like, if we push for doubles, you're just helping out the 3 best guys, kind of. So I know there's some countries that has good guys, but they can't do it yet, so they always vote no. So I think that's not very good for the progression.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's hard, like, to have a competitive run with like good speed with a double. It's tougher than people think. I think like a lot of people are like, yeah, why aren't they doing like, double corks or like more grabs and stuff? But I think most of the people that are looking from the outside or looking on TV, they've never been like on a World Cup course in the course and seeing the speed we're going into the transition. It's pretty fast, and it's pretty tough to get a good takeoff. Like most of the time we're like, our takeoff, we buckle and we arrive so fast and we're just surviving in the air and doing like a cork 10. You're like, just...
You don't have a nice transition like a park jump.
Yeah, or you don't have the time. Most of the time you're like backseat, absorbing your knees almost to your here into the transition. It's just super fast, super quick reaction. I mean, when you hit a good takeoff, anything is possible in the air, but like sometimes it's just, I feel like even me, like I can do nice grab, but sometimes just like I'm coming way too fast to do like whatever, like a nice cork 10 with like a tail grab or whatever. Like I'm just trying not to survive, but trying to land at the right spot, because on a big air you land wherever, you drift wherever, it's fine. For us, you drift like 1 foot, you get a bump in your face. You drift a foot to your right, you get another bump in your face. And if you arrive too fast, you're too fast. If you're too slow, you need to be like on the target all the time. And that's the hard part that sometimes people, they don't really see, is that we have to be extremely precise and we don't have a lot of time to think to do what we want. I mean, in training you can do whatever you want, but like in contests, it's not easy.
Do you think it's something that would benefit the sport if maybe they would allow a bigger space for landing? Like, let's say make it 20 feet longer and wider, so it would allow for bigger tricks, and for it to be more safe for you guys?
Yeah, yes and no. Because I like the fact that if you want to do, like for me, I would say the FIS should say you can do whatever you want on any jump, but we're not going to change the course. So it's, you manage yourself to do it. For sure, I think they can let us have a bit of end run before the jump, like just a little longer transition. Like instead of having like 1 meter from the bumps to like the jump, like let us have like 2 or 3 meters.
Yeah,
we can like balance a little bit and be like, okay, like I'm in a good position to do whatever I want. I think that would be a very good idea. But I wouldn't change the landing, because that's the exciting part about moguls. Like you do like, if you do like a sick dub 10, you're going to land pretty much on the first mogul. And that's what's so cool about it. It's like you land and it's like ski right away.
Can you manage to stay on track?
You have to manage that. And that's the part I love. I think that's my strength in moguls, is landing a trick very close to a bump and make it look like super easy. When I land and I start skiing, it's like super fast. But I think, they can help us to build maybe like sometime kickers that is going to launch out like a bit higher, like not putting it more kicky, but more smooth. And landing not that much longer, but just a bit more transition before the jump, that would help a ton.
Yeah, I think something from the outside perspective that people kind of lose sight of is that when you talk about seeing a real World Cup course, is that a lot of times people ride moguls at their local hills.
Yeah.
And it's not the steepness of the
No, not at all.
the
Yeah.
slope is not the same,
Yeah.
Whereas I think you have kind of a certain standard in FIS where the slopes where your runs are held is really, really steep.
Yeah.
So that's something that people kind of lose sight of, is that, oh, well, when I ride bumps at my hill, it's not that bad. But it's like, yeah, well, it's not the same slope that we're riding in. It's way steeper.
Oh yeah. There's some course that every year I come back and I've skied like 5 times. Every time I'm at the top of the course, I'm like, oh, it's steep. Like I'm at the top and I feel it's steep.
You get jitters.
I mean, you don't get that often just skiing. So yeah. And that's the fun part. Like, I mean, skiing bumps it's fun in Mont Saint-Sauveur or like your local ski hill. But like when you get a real pitch with nice, big, deep, steep moguls, that's what I like about about mogul skiing.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me. I used to do racing when I was younger, and we would train in Saint-Sauveur, which is, for people who've never been there, it's flat all the way. Like there's not any pitches. There's one at the end, but it's small.
Yeah.
And then once a year, we'd have a race in Tremblant, which has steep slopes.
Yeah, real stuff.
And then we would get so wrecked by people who were training there because we were not used to that. We'd get in a race on a steep slope, and it was a game changer for us.
Yeah.
But that's the funnest part, going on a real steep slope.
Oh yeah. I remember the same kind of feeling, like training in Saint-Sauveur, which was awesome because you can ski pretty much from 8 in the morning until 10 at night. Like there's not that many places you can do that. So we had the luxury of like skiing anytime you want. But I remember when we were showing up in like Ontario, a place is called Beaver Valley. The course was super, super steep. And all the kids from like Saint-Sauveur or Mont Gabriel, we were not able to ski out of the first jump.
Yeah.
It's just like too steep. Used to land in the 70, la 70 in Saint-Sauveur, where we used to ski moguls. And it's we thought it was steep back then, but it's actually extremely flat. And,
our biggest pitch is not even a real pitch.
Yeah. We call it the pitch, but it's probably 22 degrees.
Yeah. So talking about moguls and the whole difference between, I guess, park skiing, when you were talking about jumps and the space you have coming in and coming out of the jump, a big part that I think people forget also is that when you talk about race skiing, the only component that you have in mind is getting down the first. It's only time.
Yeah.
So
there's no style. There's no, you, like you said earlier, before we turned the camera, you can win any race with your hand in the air. If you have the best time, or like, you don't have to tuck properly.
Mm-hmm. And then for park skiing, for slopestyle, big air, or half pipe, you don't need to go fast. You just need to make it look good and do great tricks. But moguls is like kind of a weird in between where both are at play. You need to do great tricks, but you also need to go down fast.
Yeah. Well, I can explain the way they judge moguls, because I guess most of the people listening here are not mogul skier, which it's all good. Mogul skiing, it's a note out of 100, kind of like any sports. 60% of our score is our turns. So the way we ski, our technique. And it's kind of with the speed, but just the technique. There's 20% for speed and 20% for tricks. So, I mean, if you ski perfectly, but you're slow, the judges are not going to give you like a very good mark on your skiing because you're too slow. They know you're not pushing.
60% for technique seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, but you're going to see it's all blends up together. So, example, you do a cork 7. It's nice in the air, but your landing is so-so, and your ski out, like the first two turns are like a bit like wobbly all over the place. You're going to get hurt on your turns and your jump, because the jump counts like the takeoffs and the landing, and it blends out with the mogul. So it's kind of, that's the more complicated part. So I guess the goal is to be one of the fastest, make no mistake. And the tricks you're doing, as hard as you can, but your landing is the most important part. Because if you mess up your landing a little bit, it's going to mess up your jump score and your turn score. So you need to find the right middle. And the judges, when you're skiing too slow, they take you deduction on your turns because they're like, you're not pushing enough. But if you go very, very fast and you make mistakes, then they take points out because they're like, you're making a lot of mistakes. So you need to find the perfect middle of like, I'm fast enough, I'm clean enough, and I land at the right place, and my tricks, they don't get deducted.
It seems like it doesn't reward that much of the aspect of pushing yourself, you know? In terms of tricks, I mean.
Yeah.
When you say that maybe 80% is your technique and your speed, and then in that 20%, say, if you have the choice of just doing a good trick or pushing yourself, then you might stay more in your comfort zone.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess then it's strategy for anyone.
Yeah. It's your strategy is important. I mean, I think like for me, I'm always pushing like the tricks. I mean, yes, often I do the same thing because it works. I get the prize money at the end. And
you don't change a winning formula.
Yeah. Exactly. But sometimes I change depend on the course. But like, I always go for other tricks. I rather have more air tricks than time points. Like I try to find a way that my time is not gonna affect my turns. So I start already with like not that much mistakes, and with my time I have my score, and then I can go and get like 3 or 4 points on my jump on people that are not pushing really much, like they're doing like a single cork 7 with a backflip. If I do like a double full and a cork 10, then for sure I get like 5 more points extra than them. So they cannot catch that extra points in time. So yeah, you kind of play with that, and that's the fun part. Like, I mean, in slopestyle, I love the way it's judged, but I feel like in moguls there's just a little bit more strategy and like, I mean, there's a lot of strategy into slopestyle and half pipe and big air and all those stuff. But for us, it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of like, it's like more like you play your cards well.
In slopestyle, I think it's a matter of adapting the course to your skiing.
Exactly.
Because in moguls, it's pretty much the same course every time. You know, it's bumps, jumps, bumps. You know, there's the
it's the same format. It's always there's always going to be 2 jump, and it's always going to look similar. I mean, the type of snow, and you ski in Japan or you ski in Kazakhstan or in Tremblant, it's all different snow, all different type of course. But I guess in slopestyle you get the jumps are never the same.
But you don't get the same amount. You maybe have 3 rails, then 3 jumps, or 2 rails and 2 jumps.
And the rails are different all the time.
A big factor that's pushed is spinning both sides. As much
and
on rail as...
And that's what I love about slopestyle is just like the guys they are just so good on doing like a switch right, switch left.
Is that something spin that you would like to see in moguls? Like maybe like left side cork 10 to right side cork 10?
That's another thing that I've been trying to I didn't push that much on that, but like that's one thing I love about slopestyle is people spinning both sides. I mean, I've been working a little bit on doing like cork 7 on natural, or even like this straight up trick like back full and stuff. I can do it both sides. They look pretty good to me, but I mean in moguls they're like, no, you can do it if you want, but they're gonna score the same. I mean, you don't get extra.
They don't reward it.
No, like example, I do a cork 7 with this side, and I do a cork 7 the other side. No extra point.
But why not? What's their thinking behind it?
No idea. I mean,
because it is harder. There's definitely a technicality. Like there's a lot of people that have made their success and that have, on the other side, have had a hard time in slopestyle because of the progression of spinning both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look like at Oystein Bratton, the guy that won in Pyeongchang the Olympics, I mean, he
was doing switched up 14s both ways.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And when I look at it, I don't even know which side he's spinning. Like, what's his natural side? No idea. I'm guessing it's left, like everyone. But I mean, it can be on the other side.
Yeah, most people is left side.
Yeah. But like you don't know, and that's what I appreciate about the guys that are very good in slopestyle. Is just like it's like super easy. And I remember at the Olympic talking with ABM and the Olympic Village. He was like trying to build his run in his head, and he was like showing us like videos, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this one there, and then I think I'm gonna try switch right side there, and then the triple on my good side. And it's just so nice to hear. Like, I mean, for us in moguls, it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this trick and this trick, and then I'm just gonna try to figure out the line I'm skiing. That's it. And he's like having to be like super creative and be different than the other. He's like, oh, everyone is using that rail, so I'm gonna use that one. And he just went like that because everyone is using that one, so why would I use it? I mean, I get probably more points if I do something different. And that's what I like. I was like, oh, this is like, that's the cool part, is the creativity and the amount of trick they can do is just mega.
I guess both have strategy, but that's definitely something that would add to your deck of cards for moguls, to say, well, do I want to go fast versus, staying safe with tricks? And then if there was left side and right side, then
the way is just in moguls, the way I said, like, there's more like strategy related to your score. I feel in slopestyle it's more creativity.
There's a lot of unknown in slopestyle as to, like, there's something clear about how you said it with the 60-20-20 distinction in points, where in slopestyle ABM can say, oh, I'll go and do that wall ride and do that trick, but there's really an uncertainty as to, will the judges be down with it? Will they like it? There's a lot of, risk and reward that you don't know.
No, 100%. But I like the fact that they're taking the chances, and they're like, we'll see after the first round. Just like, it's so cool. I had the chance to see a lot of event like in slopestyle, and I was there in Sochi, and I was there in Pyeongchang for both Olympic finals and qualification for slopestyle, and the mood is different than in moguls. I mean, in moguls it's more like, I feel it's more like hockey or whatever. I don't know if you see where I'm going, or golf. I mean, it's a bit more serious. It's more like athletes are going in there to go do like the runs, and it's like it's a bit more serious. And in slopestyle you see the guys, you see Henrik Arlo when he finishes his run, and he has his music and he's just like bouncing. He's like, is there? And then you see IBM, like in between his run, he was coming to see us, and all the guys in Team Canada come to give us a nod. And he's like, that was sick. I think next run I'm gonna add an extra 180 after. We were like, oh, okay,
There's a lot of improvisation that comes with the 3-run format, where you can adapt and see what the judges like and what you can do on the course.
And that's one part that I think would be good in moguls.
What's the format right now? It's one run?
That's Olympic slopestyle. They have 3 runs, best out of 3 count. This is awesome. This is pushing the progression. In moguls right now, it's example, you make finals. So you do qualification, you make finals. Finals were 20 guys. You do 1 run, the top 12 can do another one. So you go into final 2. It's just 1 run. You fucked up. You're done. You see. Then the 12 other guys go up. They do a run. The top 6 go to the like super final, like final 3, and then the 6th guy fight for a medal. So it's always performance on demand. You don't have a second chance.
And they fight for a medal on one final run.
1 run. We don't have in moguls best out of 3 or best out of 2 or never. It's always right now the best one count. And that's one thing I would love to see, is at least to have best out of 2. Or like when we get into finals, you have like everyone do their first final. And then whatever, you take like the top 8, top 10 to go do another one. So it keeps because the beauty of moguls is still performance on demand. Like 1 run, this is where it counts. This is why maybe people are more like, so imagine slopestyle people, they always have 1 run to do their stuff. For sure, people would back off a little bit just to be more consistent. So for us, it's like that. But when the people go to do their second final, you can keep your first score. So you can like have a victory lap, or you know where you're.
Yeah,
like
that would be a great way to put incentive on progression, because
exactly
that's something you see a lot in slopestyle. Is say someone like ABM lands a run and he has a good score, like 85. So he's kind of safe.
Yeah, and
but he's not first.
It releases pressure and stress. You're like, I got a good one to back me off.
And then he can go all in his second or third run and say, okay, I'm gonna go for gold or go for whatever, and I'm gonna try to one up my run.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's where you see progression. But if you don't have that luxury,
I don't have, and that's the part where it's hard to be creative and bring the new tricks. Because for me, it always starts to zero. I mean, I can win like final one, like and walk up and have like 90 points. I'm 8 points ahead of the guy that's second, who scored like 82. I show up to the super final, we're all back to zero.
Yeah.
And the guy can do like a better run, and then I make stupid mistakes, and I'm third, fourth, fifth, or second.
It's a whole different mindset.
Yeah,
for
but if I
skier.
kept that score, I mean, I have no pressure going back up, and I can like try something that no one has seen before, because I don't care if I mess up my run or I crash, because I have a score that backs me off.
You can let loose.
Yeah, or like I would love to go do a run. I qualify, like example in final one, I'm in second place. I scored like 87, and the guy that leads is at like 89. And I go back up, and at the worst I'm second. So I don't. It's super good, but then I know exactly what to do to go beat the guy that is in first.
Yeah.
You don't have to like redo a run. It's like, I'm just going all out, like everything I can do, or I try new tricks. And if I landed, like, good for me. And then you beat the example that this happened, and you beat the guy. Then the guy that goes last, who was first, then drops to second, exactly like slopestyle. And then he has to go like...
It builds up a lot of drama.
Yeah, it builds up the people. And I would love to see that in mogul. I think it would make a bigger difference. And I think it would be a better show on TV.
Definitely.
Yeah. And... it would be more crash, yes. It would be more dangerous, yes. But it would be so much fun for us skiers. Strategy so much different. But
that's a thing that crashes, I think, are good for the mainstream public, because it kind of brings them back to seeing that, there are risks involved.
Oh, yeah.
Because like absolutely. In ski movies, something that happens a lot when I show it to friends that are less into it, is that if it's a part of backcountry or urban where there's only landed tricks, they kind of lose sight that, everything was gnarly.
Yeah.
But if you put a couple of bails, they kind of get back to the mentality of saying, oh shit, that's dangerous. But sometimes it's easy to lose sight that you guys are going really fast, you're going really high. But if you all land your runs, then they forget. They're like, oh yeah, it's easy.
I 100%. I love seeing parts. And I know they do that in a lot of movies, but when you see a guy and he gets the trick he wants at like his 40th attempts, but then in the like video you see all the attempts very fast.
Yeah.
And you see the guy like eat shit. And then he's like all dirty, like example on a urban spot, and then at the end he gets it. It's just like, it's so cool to watch. I can feel what they like, the reward, like after like working so hard a full day just to get like one little clip of like 10 seconds. It's sick, like to see like the build up. And I think like in moguls, the people, they remember the good runs, but most of the people, they still talk about the huge crashes. I mean, this is what the people, they like to see. And when they see a crash, exactly like you said, they come back and they're like, holy shit, okay, it can be gnarly if you like miss one turn, and we're like,
it builds your legend kind of.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about, Simon Dumont or Tanner Hall, yes, we think about their movies, their competitions, but for a lot of people outside the sport, it's, oh yeah, Tanner Hall, the guy who broke his ankles. It kind of sticks in your mind.
Yeah, or
knowing
Simon
that-
Dumont, the guy that cleared big air for like from like 100 foot farther than the landing.
and broke his ankles,
Yeah,
I think, and other
or
stuff.
his spine stuff. Or
And now it's time for a first sponsor break. Treefort Lifestyles is a company based out of Oregon. They've been involved in the ski industry since their inception in 2011 when they made their first pair of suspenders for skiing. They produce some of the nicest accessories you can find out there for your adventure activities, whether you're going skiing, hiking, or traveling. Plus, I've heard their famous suspenders are making a comeback this winter. Go check them out at treefortlifestyles.com and use code Mayrand at checkout to get 15% off your order. Support companies that support skiing. Support Treefort Lifestyles. Have you had any big injuries throughout the years?
knock on wood, no. I have small injuries, but nothing like never blew a ACL or MCL or.
That's lucky as a
like
skier.
Pop a shoulder, never. I mean, I've hurt some part of my body, but like.
Do mogul skiers get knee injuries?
Oh my god, yeah, a lot.
So you're lucky to have been.
Yeah, lucky or just. I think I trained properly. I mean, there's a lot of fact like in moguls. I mean, you have to be pretty strong. I mean, it's a lot of squats at one run, and I have a good team of trainers. I think I started working with them when I was young, like 17, 18, and I think they trained me properly to not get injured, and I'm being enough intelligent to. But yeah, there's like a lot of my teammates that like blown ACL or so many people. I mean, mogul skiing is the most prone knee injury sport almost in the world.
Because I think something that might help is when you talk about, you need to land perfectly so that you can go on with your run.
Yeah.
From what I've seen in the park scene, at least, is a lot of blown knees happen when you land backseat and kind of tweak your knee. But with you putting so much emphasis on landing perfectly, is that something you think that helps?
Yeah, but sometimes I land backseat. But I think most of the people, they blow their knees in the moguls because their skis are like 175 average. The guys, it's pretty long. Sometimes if it's mostly your skis doing a weird turn, your body's going straight. They're like the edges they catch in the snow, and then your knee just tweak. It's like it's skiing.
So it's more moguls than
it's
jumps.
the moguls. Like I rarely saw people blow their ACL jumping. It's if it's close to a jump, it's like landing and hitting the first two turns. This is where the people get hurt, like because they land like you said, like back seat, but then they hit like the first two turn, and then the ski goes like this, but their body goes like that. So then you just went like,
yeah. If you land back seat in a potential knee injury situation and you have bumps coming in.
Oh yeah, exactly. Fucked. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. yeah. So a lot of injury. I've seen too many. I feel people like in my eyes like blow their knee or I've seen a
it's
crazy
common.
crash. Yeah, I think the craziest crash I saw was in 2007. I was pretty young. I was going to watch the World Cup in Mont Gabriel. It was like on a Friday. I was no school that day, and I went on the side of the course to.
Were they doing it in that side mountain that is closed now? In Mont Gabriel, they have the resort. And then
they were doing the aerials there.
Okay.
Yeah, they were doing in the Tamarack, the main slope. It's pretty flat for World Cup, but it was pretty cool.
It's a weird hill slope. Like it starts flat, but then at some point it gets pretty steep.
Yeah. It's like and there's like plateau, it goes steep, flat, steep. Well, steep, it's the big word, but it's really not consistent. Yeah. It's not a consistent piece. Anyway, the worst crash I've seen it didn't look so bad, but like I was on the side of the jump and there's a French girl, Sandra Laura, who's bronze medalist at the 2006 Olympic in Torino, and she like landed weirdly on her back / her head, and I was on the side of the jump, and and the crazy part is like she's like, I can't feel my legs and blah blah blah, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave the side of the jump, and like it's like crazy. And like 2 days after, we heard that she like couldn't ever walk again, and this is where I was like, oh my god, okay, like this is not just a blown ACL. This is like major injury. Like,
do you remember the trick? Like, what was she? Was it a
I
backflip?
think she got out of control before the jump, so she was just trying to maybe not hit the jump, but she was like on the like crooked, and the jump is kicky, so I just put her like, she just went like
just
show you with my hands, but people can see it. But it just like kind of hit the jump and went crooked, and then landed kind of like on her head, and that was like And this is from where I realized, okay, like skiing can be dangerous. Like stupid little accident can happen, any sport. So I never been a guy that think about the risk, or sometime when I go do a trick, I'm like, I know I can do it, so I just go and do it. But like, it's it's dangerous.
Well, I think if you want to perform at the level where you do, you can't really have that in mind, in my opinion. I don't know what's your thoughts on that.
Not. Like, yes, it's important to know that there's risk, and sometimes it's good to know when to stop. I mean, when you're tired, you got to listen to your body. But to be at the top of any sports, especially like extreme sport, you don't think about.
Well, it's a good time
you need to be willing to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good time to think about it when you're at the gym and everything, but when you're at the start gate, you got to clear it.
I don't. The day I'm going to be scared, I think it's going to be a sign that maybe it's time to put the skis in the garage. Still ski, yes, with the family and everything, but like, competitively not, but I'm not scared. I don't feel I'm close to be scared, but I mean, there's some risk.
I was talking to Alex Belmar on the podcast, and he basically told me that at the Unolson Invitational, they would always have a big air competition there in the spring, and maybe 2016 he was doing triple corks.
Yeah.
And one time he lost himself in the air and just exploded, landed on his head, and he got scared, and up after that he was just like always scared. And he was saying like he competed, he won World Cups after that, he went to the Olympics, but still he was like, after that point I hadn't confidence in my air sense.
And
awareness. Just the fact of being a bit scared, like the problem wasn't that he wasn't able to do it, like he's still
but when you're scared, you're just
exactly,
you're scared, you can do it, but it's not a fun feeling. I mean, it's not fun to wake up in the morning and be like, imagine every run you're going, or every time you hit a big jump that they're hitting, and you're scared. Or like, and I know like mogul skier that at the end, when they were standing at the top of the course and it's steep and it's icy, they were scared. They was like, it's not fun anymore. And I think when it's not fun, and it's time to take a step back. And I'm not there yet. I hope never to experience that, but I mean, it's part of
for a lot of people in the park scene that do slopestyle half pipe, a lot of people have the option of branching out and saying, I'll go and do some backcountry skiing. That'll be easier on the body, less stress, more fun. Is that something that you'd see yourself doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's I think mogul skier can do that too. I mean, we're, I think, very good skiers in general in anything. I mean, when you can ski mogul, that's basically the hardest stuff to kind of ski. I think backcountry is harder, but like, you understand what I mean. I mean, I think we can recycle ourselves to a pretty decent.
You have the basic, like
the basics, exactly.
Not the basics. Well, you have good technique, so you can go anywhere. There's no limitations.
Exactly. That's something I would love to do for sure. Maybe not like the contest that they do. I think it's crazy, like the big mountain stuff.
But like, I know that, Tanner Hall did that, where he would do a lot of competitions and then branched out into making backcountry movies. Torren Yater Wallace did that this year. He hasn't released
Sean
it.
Pettit, or
I don't think
he was always more.
Yeah, he was always into it. But anyways, that's a thing where it seems that for mogul skiers, it's when your competition is done. Like the sport is so specialized into doing moguls that you're kind of put in a weird place where you do moguls and nothing else, really.
You do moguls and nothing else, but at the same time, I mean, I still hit the park. Like, I'm 28 years old. Mogul skier has been like 11 years. I'm skiing World Cups.
Mm.
But I'm still like going more undercover. Like I don't wear my mogul suit when I go at some whatever Avila Park, but I still do it and I still enjoy. And I think it's good for my brain and it's good for my mogul skiing to feel different type of jump, hitting rails, and just different type of skiing. Like I put my music and I can ski the park like the whole day, and it's just so fun. I love doing different stuff. I mean, I can't just do moguls, and people think that's what I do. Yes, during the World Cup season, but if you see me like in Whistler, sometimes I coach for Momentum and I go ski with the guys and go at the jump and the rails with them, and sometimes I have my mogul skis on.
And now it's time for a second sponsor break. Access Boardshop is a ski and snowboard shop based out of Saint-Sauveur, Quebec, Canada. They've been in business since 2002 and have supported skiing since day one. From sponsoring numerous athletes to putting on competitions to helping out movie productions, they've done it all. Access is the core board shop, and they've got everything that you might need this season. Check them out at accessboutique.com or go check out their shop in Saint-Sauveur. Support companies that support skiing. Support Access Board Shop. When you go into a park, let's say during the winter, you have a day off and you go in a park, what's your favorite things to do? Is it more rails, jumps?
I think at first it's rail because I don't hit that many rails. I mean, I'm in the air often because of moguls, but I think it's just doing stuff that I don't do often. So rails and switch landings or switch takeoffs. Because in moguls you can't land switch or you can't take off switch. So sometimes I just go and do like more basic stuff. Like it'll be like I don't do crazy stuff on the rail. I don't want to hurt myself. I'm a bit older too, and so I go a bit more easy. I mean, I'm not gonna do like if it's a small box, I'm gonna do like 2 ins and stuff. Or if it's rail, I'm just gonna go like straight and a 2 out at the end, like keeping it more safe. And I don't know, like switch fives, like switch cork fives, or
cruising through a park doing rails is so fun.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just exactly. I'm just cruising, and what I love is, I mean, I think my run of cruise on the rails, it's not impressive, but on the air, I think like I look pretty good. I mean, I hit the rails very fast. I mean, people are waiting. I'm always like cruising with my friend. I'm just hitting the rails pretty much straight. But when I hit if there's like 2-3 jump in a row, then it's kind of nice because I can do like a switch 5, a cork 9, and then another whatever trick that I feel like doing. And it's just like fun. It's like cruise, and then the next run I can do everything totally different. So that's what I like about cruising in the park is I never go and repeat the same trick over again. I do it once, I'm like, oh, that was cool. I'm gonna try another one. And in moguls, it's more like I train my run to be like
there's a defined goal of
it's like repetition, and then you need like the muscle memory to be so consistently good. And that's what I love about riding the park is just like I don't care. I mean, I go off in the middle of the rail. I'm like, what is it gonna change?
Yeah, no pressure. When you are trying to progress, or when you were trying to progress in your life, in your jumps, was park skiing part of that? Like, would you go into a park and say, "Oh, I'll go and hit the park jumps," since it's there's a better in run? Or
all my first tries are on a park jump. Because it's easier. You have more air time, so it's easier. I remember I was pretty young. I was doing like cork 7s. Yes, in moguls, but in the park. But like I never done like cork 10s on the water ramp or whatever. Trampoline.
Do you do airbags?
I don't like airbags. I actually like Maximize, the one in Saint Agathe, and the progression one where it's the flat ones. I hate it. Like I have hit it twice in my life. I used to land in my boots. I punch front all the time. And when I was young, there was no airbags anyway. So I was like, in one day I was doing like cork 7. I never did cork 9s. I'm gonna try. Just a 180 extra. And then the next run after, I was like, oh, I have time for like another 180. So I was doing, and that's how I learned to do cork 10. And it's like my go-to trick in moguls. And I learned it like in Avila on like one of the jumps.
Nice. Is that a common thing for mogul skier, you think?
No.
So you're kind of...
No, most of them, some of the people are more robotic and they learn like trampoline, especially nowadays, like trampoline, water ramp, and they're more like serious
more
from
kind
a
of
young age. And I was serious, but like grew up more in the area. When I started skiing moguls, like some kids, they didn't have a helmet. I was like, when I started, it was in 2000, flat 2000.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was not like, I remember at the Olympics, people were just skiing with their air and just ski goggles. It's awesome. And now, everyone wears a helmet and we understand why. But yeah, it's just like some of the people that I grew up with, they were starting to do their first flip on a jump full of powder. Mm-hmm. I didn't, like I was doing them on the trampoline, but yeah. I was more in the area or not the area, but the time where people were just pretty much trying on snow first try.
And how is it looking for kids now? Are they straight to the airbag or? Yeah,
I don't know exactly the progression, but it's very good for the kids. I mean, that's why the kids are just so good in the sports in general. Jumping for moguls or for slopestyle or for whatever, big air. Yeah, they kind of do trampoline, then water ramp, airbags, progressions airbags, like airbags on snow also. I mean, there's good coach and I think it's good. Like it's in a safer way now. There's gonna be less injuries and people that are just trying first try on snow. The people like there's like protocols with Freestyle Canada that are, I mean, they're very good for the kids. So they learn properly and they need to do an X amount of jump on the like airbag before they do it on snow.
It kind of put rules, but then again, it's good for the safety of kids of not just hucking a backflip when they're not ready to.
Yeah. Just because the sport is so much more dangerous than it was before. I mean, the kids are watching videos of guys doing like triples and I mean, what you look on TV or on YouTube, people are so good.
Yeah.
The kids, they have idols that they want to do the same, but like at 13, 14. So if it's a bit more like in a safe environment.
Have you seen the video that came out of the faction skis video of the guy doing a switch quadruple?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's on another level.
As someone who is trying to get doubles into his own side of the sport, what's your thoughts when you see a switch quad?
I mean, the jump is huge, so I guess he has time to do it. I mean, it's kind of like, I always say, like, I think the takeoff I give for a mogul jump to do a double is like the takeoff you give for a triple on a big air. So, I mean, quad is just insane. It's just, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm pushing for doubles and these guys are doing quads, but they get the airtime.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of looking at those people. Like, have you seen I think it's Fabian Bush who did quad also on the X Game big air.
I don't remember his quad
cork 18 something.
Maybe like he
did it like in the small like he was like tucking
like cork 7 to cork 3 to cork 3 to cork 5 maybe.
Cork 5.
I think I saw it.
Well,
that guy is crazy.
It's nuts.
He really has a crazy air sense. Like he does a lot of rotations that not many people do.
Yeah. Like the like cork 10 to triple or.
Yeah. A lot of people would do like a cork 7 to cork 3 and like let's say for a dub 10.
Yeah.
But I think he does like cork 10s in his first one. Like he just hucks his body and then let's go.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've ever tried? Like a dub 14 but cork 10 to cork 3?
Yeah, I've tried it. Well, I prefer doing 7 to 7.
Yeah, another guy that does crazy tricks like that on the trampoline is Vincent Gagne. I don't know if you've ever seen his post.
Of course.
He's an animal.
Yeah, he's a fast spinner. I'm a fast spinner too, I think. That's my strength. I can spin very, very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've won many spin contests. Yeah, I think me and Vince I don't remember when it was, maybe 5 years ago in Whistler. We wanted to do a slush together, but like a spin to win contest.
Like
but
slush,
straight up.
the slush games,
Yeah. It never worked out, but we wanted to use like just a small jump and do like spin to win, like 180, then 360, and 540, 720, and you always go back up and see who can go the farthest.
Damn.
But like just spinning
pencil.
Pencil as fast as you can. We never did it, but I remember we talked about it and we were like, yeah, let's do it, and never worked out.
Yeah, I think at some point you kind of need to get corked.
Oh yeah, you need, but that's the funny part is using a small jump and just spinning as fast as you can, like your hands on your side like that,
while staying straight up.
Yeah, because you play until you crash, or you like you can't see anything. You're just like spinning until you land.
Yeah, I think I saw a shot of him. He was doing a insta banger with slush, I think.
Yeah.
And he was trying to do that on a mogul course.
Yeah, but that was that year.
Okay.
That we wanted to do that because I was there when he was trying the 1080.
Yeah, and
I tried it after he lost his ski in the air.
Yeah. Like, it's nice that he went and tried a trick in the moguls, because it shows like a park skier in there. Like, it shows what you've talked about, that the jump is quick, the landing is quick, that it's not the same game.
If you start early, you're gonna lose your ski. It's just it's so different.
Yeah.
The timing is just so different.
Yeah, and as you said, for a lot of park skiers, there's so much liberty in the way you approach the jump that you don't consider from your stance, that on my side as a filmer, I've been aware of it, because like, let's say if I'm doing a follow cam, I need to know, are you going to carve left, carve right? Are you going straight? Like, they can go all certain ways, but as a mogul skier, you don't have that liberty. It's basically, I need to go straight, and
Oh yeah. There's no carving. I mean, not at all. Well, you're following like a train track. Yeah. And you're like in the moguls, and then when you hit the jump, you go straight, because if you carve, you're gonna land. You ski always the same line. Yeah. You cannot drift and land and ski another line.
That's one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, the whole park scene versus mogul scene, in the sense that we're the same age. We grew up kind of after the pioneers of free skiing, let's say, of Cusson, JP Auclair, and all those guys. And all of the guys that were involved into creating, the first twin tips and all that culture, they started branching off from moguls. Yeah. They were all mogul skiers.
They all ski World Cups, moguls. They were all, very good mogul skiers.
Like, they were either Olympic hopefuls or Olympic athletes, or, they were great skiers. And then we're in that generations where, snowboarding was cooler than skiing, and that I feel these guys really made skiing cool again with everything that they did of going, we grew up in an era where you could get your pass pulled if you hit a jump, there were, but so a lot has changed since then.
Or hitting like, what do you call that? Subo, like.
In a glade.
The era that people thought snowblade was cool too.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Was there ever a point when you were young where you thought of going more into the park direction versus moguls?
There's a point I thought I was was younger. I did one full year of snowboard too.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, I did I think I was 6 or 7. It's very young, I know, but I did a full year pretty much of snowboard. And then I was skiing. I was the only one snowboarding. And I got fast very good, and no one teach me. It was my mom and my dad, just following me around. And I learned how to snowboard because I was skating at home, and I got pretty good. I have a picture of me doing pretty, I'm 6 or 7. I'm hitting small jumps, and I go pretty high with my snowboard. It's actually pretty cool. And then I was following my friends, and I always had to sit down and clip my boots, and I'm always slower to go anywhere. So I was like, I'm gonna go back to skiing because I'm better at skiing finally. But if there's ever a time that I thought about going into park, yes. I mean, I didn't know I was gonna have as much success in moguls.
At what point did you realize that?
Well,
that you could dominate the way you are dominating, or that you've dominated the past.
If I had the quarter of what I've won, I was, and you would have told me that it's 16, 17, I would have signed the paper at the bottom. And then it's because when I was young, I was like, I'm gonna go and do moguls, go at the Olympics, try to win, and then if I win, then I go back to like whatever ski park, or I'll do like all the discipline possible.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's just at 19 I was the best in the world and went to my first Olympic, finished second. Was very happy, but I was like, I know I can win the Olympics. So 4 more years, and then I won it, and then stuff are going well, and I have very good sponsors, and
So
I know I can win.
Go to Vancouver.
No, I didn't go
Whistler.
to Vancouver. No, I went. I was a foreigner, so I was very good. It's like an experience because I was skiing with the Olympians and stuff. I was just not competing. I had the score. That was pretty cool. So I was doing a run to warm up like the judges before the contest started. And I was the last foreigner, so it's basically before the contest. I would have finished 5th.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
And
I did a sick run, and
what prevented you from competing?
I didn't ski World Cup before. I was on the national team, but development team. I was skiing Norams, so it's a level.
You didn't earn your spot there.
Yeah. I didn't have the chance to qualify. There's like no chance. I knew it anyway, and
So it's crazy too. Like that must have been a big motivation factor, knowing that, okay, I have 4 years ahead of me, and I finished unofficially kind of 5th.
yeah, exactly. But it's just motivation, and this is where I create my name. I mean, after that, I remember Matt Melançon. He was the team manager for Oakley. He was there, and this is where he kind of knew me and gave me my first free Oakley goggles. It's like, it's big when you're like, I was 17 at that time, and then I signed a contract with them after. I created my name from there on. With ID1, I got free skis, and just because of that moment.
So your first sponsorship was in 2010?
Well, no, my first one was Auberson Ski Shop in Laval. They're the first one when I was a kid that were helping me because I broke a lot of skis. The thing is, I was too small for adult skis, but too good or hitting too much big jump for kid skis. Because I kind of grew up, I was like late. I was pretty small when I was like 14, 13, whatever. And that's my first real one. And then Saint-Sauveur kind of too. I mean, they helped me from a young age, give me ski pass or supporting me, giving me a few $1,000s to travel and help my family, because I have an older brother and a younger sister, and they're all skiers, so everyone is
it costs a lot.
It costs a lot of money. And where was I going with that? And then pretty much Oakley, I would say, is like after that sponsor, that the big one, like, I mean, the one that I grew up wanting to have the most.
That allow you to pay the bills.
Yeah. And then Oakley, and then after that, more came in, because more then my name kind of circulated around. And I signed with Under Armour after that, and it's just started to come like Volvo. Back in the days, it was BMW sponsoring me. It's huge when you're like 19 and you receive they give you a BMW. I mean, it's crazy. You're like, wow, it's crazy. Like,
for people in the park scene, it seems like there's a big progression. Not a big progression, but there's a progression where you get a couple pairs of skis, and then when you get bigger, you might get traveling budget, and then if you do something great, then you have a salary. How is it for mogul skier? It seems like, from what I see, it's like, oh, okay, well, hey, you have a contract with BMW.
I know. I understand what you said. Like, I started for skis. I received free skis, a few, 2 years, and then a bit more. And with ID1, the rule is like, I think you can get money if you're in the top 10 in the world. So it's the most popular ski, but the hardest one to get money from. And in 2011, I was in the top 10. So when you're in the top 10, you get like 6 pair of skis and money, which was good. And if you win like a Crystal Globe or a World Championship, you get your pro model. And 19, I won my first Crystal Globe, so I get my pro model. So and then the big one that was with ID1, they both retired in 2010. No, or 2011, sorry. Then when they retired, then I was like the top guy with that company. So I was like, I get more budget for me.
Yeah.
So that's the ski part. I mean, because I was going into my first Olympic and I was like young and kind of like not at all the face of like Team Canada for Sochi, but I was like one of the favorites to win a medal. And BMW, they didn't give me money. They just gave me a car for 4 years. It's awesome. And in mogul skiing, I kind of arrived in a good transition of like, I don't know how to tell it, but like I always had the good timing. Like with Oakley, I mean, they saw me. I mean, I did like one of the craziest run in Vancouver back then, and then the guy from Oakley saw me. So this is where we started our relationship. And yeah,
it's great timing, but it's also you're creating the opportunities because you managed, like you weren't a forerunner by chance. Like
no, exactly.
They must have put you there because they knew you were really good. And then if you did a run that would have scored fifth, then people noticed you for a reason.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, there were other foreigner, but at the end, I'm the guy that left with like a contract pretty much with Oakley and a pair of skis right after the run.
That's sick.
Yeah. And then other stuff came in, but yeah, I feel very lucky to have great partners, and I can live a very good life with skiing, with mogul skiing. And yeah, it's that's the best part is I can just focus on skiing, have fun. It doesn't feel like work, and I get rewarded with great partnership, and I can live very well. So it's
that's great. And a thing I think helped you is there was a big culture built in Canada and in Quebec with mogul skiing, with Jean-Luc Brassard being a big like mainstream name.
Yeah.
And then right after Alex Bilodeau, who was so then, the media and the sponsors, I think they were ready to support. Because people were aware, people knew mogul skiing.
100%. I guess it was harder for Jean-Luc. I mean, he made a name of himself. Everyone remembers him, and he's a legend. And because of him, Bilodeau could have, used Jean-Luc Brassard's name, and he made it popular, Jean-Luc. And then Alex is the guy that won after. So he could, get more sponsorship. And then I'm the guy that arrived, but they opened up the way for me.
Yeah.
And then people knew and then I had good publicity from those two. They were saying he's like the best talent we've seen in mogul skiing. They were saying that back then. So that helped me a lot too. Then people came to me instead of that's why I feel I'm lucky is I didn't run so much as a kid for companies to be
they came to you.
Yeah, they came to me, which is, I never sent a CV pretty much.
Well, the same guy the guy that told me the same thing was Alex Bellemare, and he had a similar story. Whereas, let's say between he was 12 to 17, he was dominating the Quebec scene. He was winning everything, and that's one thing I was saying to him is, if you're dominating like that, then you don't have to run after sponsors. They're gonna come to you.
Yeah, they come to you, and
and that's
people say, "Oh, you're lucky, you have this," but I mean,
you worked for it.
I worked for it, and win all the contests. They're gonna come after you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
yeah. Have you seen the Michael Jordan documentary they put out?
It's awesome. I'm planning on re-watching it again right before my first race, just to get the height out of it.
Because that's something he was saying is that, he was doing, contracts with McDonald's and, marketing stuff. But I think maybe it was his agent or someone was saying he's well aware that everything starts with his performance. If he's not winning all the time, then there's no McDonald's. There's no...
No, exactly. I mean, I don't have all the things that I have if I'm not winning.
So was that when you say that, Jean-Luc and Alex Bilodeau were saying that you were the next talent, was that putting pressure on you?
No, I didn't see it that way. And when I was a kid, I was like,
Just
cool,
stoked.
thank you. Yeah. I mean, I'm just excited to go ski. Yeah.
So you seem like someone who handles pressure very well.
Yeah, I think it's one of my strengths. Pressure. It's kind of like a drug for me. You know, people, they don't like pressure, and I like being the guy in the spotlight a bit more and having a bit more pressure.
As someone who doesn't follow mogul skiing that closely, it seems that for maybe the past 6 years, every event you're the guy to beat.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Like it
It's
looks
been-
like something that might be draining in terms of the stress level of
Oh, yeah,
every
yeah.
event. You're the guy people are going after.
Yeah, no, it's it's different than a guy that's very good in moguls but just travels the world and does his thing. Not pressured. Not. The thing for me, what's hard is I finished second, and like Le Journal de Montréal, and like the media are like, oh, what happened to him?
Disappointment.
Or why it's a disappointment? And I'm like, actually, I did a very good run, and there is someone better than me today, and that's sports. It's normal. I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
But no, it's a lot of pressure. Like, and I kind of I created that pressure, and I'm fine with it. But yes,
What do you mean when you say you created it?
well, by winning a lot and just winning a lot. Like, just for example, before the 2018 Olympic Games, I'm already the silver medalist, and then people say he's gonna win the next Olympic, and everyone are saying that in the media. And then there was 14, so the 14 race prior to the Olympic Games, I won 13 in a row. 13 in a row, and that on the 14th one I finished second. And the people are like, oh my god, is that bad? Like, right before the game, it must be hard finishing second. I'm like, not at all. It's actually less pressure for me. Like, not perfect.
Your bad result in comma is out of the way.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, kind of. And
bad in terms for the media.
Yeah. And then the media were just like, yeah. And then you arrive at the Olympic, and I mean, you show up, and what the people are saying about you, the media, like I remember like my press conference for the team, there's like my old team sitting on the table. There's like media, like Quebec media, Canadian media, world media. They like ask questions. I'm the only one getting questions. It's just like, are you ready to win? Like, not exactly like that, but like it's only like stuff about winning the Olympics and being like, oh, people are saying you're like the favorite of all the sports. You're the favorite guy to win a gold medal. You're the guy that we can bet on you. We're not gonna make money. Like, people are like saying that. I was like, yeah, well, I mean, I still have to do it. But
it's not
hearing
done.
that all the time, people telling you you're gonna win the Olympic, you're gonna win. At some point it creates like bricks on your shoulder. Like, you're like, oh my god, what happens if I don't win? And that was the hard part for me. It's like, I was like, yeah, look, I'm just gonna ski on my best.
And sometimes it can create, pressure that is not. That shouldn't be there, because
it was not fun pressure. I mean, I dealt with it so well, but it was not. At some point, I was just like, okay, like, I mean, I'm a human.
Yeah.
I know I'm the favorite to win, but like, the course is hard. I might not win. Like, I don't know. It's not fun thoughts to have. You're like, what am I gonna say to the media? How am I gonna react or whatever? And then I stopped thinking about that. I was just like, focus on what you need to do. And I came up with a good like strategy. Is like, I won the qualification, and it was 2 days before finals. I won the qualifications. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going into final. I'm in first. It's good. But then the finals day, it was like -30. The course was hard. And I'm usually the guy that's very good when it's shitty weather, and it's all good.
It seems like a strength that a lot of Quebec skiers have, knowing how to ride shitty terrain.
Exactly. And Marc-Antoine Gagnon, one of my teammates, that year didn't have such a great year. And he finished fourth at the Olympics, but every time it's shitty, he's good. And a guy from here, but anyway. Qualification was in the morning, 2 days before, and the finals was... It started like at 9 p.m. in the Korean time. So I did my last run at 11.
That's weird.
Yeah, but it was for prime time America. Not prime time, but like, so in Europe it was like in the afternoon in Europe, and it was like in the morning, like 10, 11 in Canada and East Coast.
So it was really thought out.
It was thought out for where the countries are good at. It's America and Europe.
Yeah.
And Asia, I mean, it was at night, so it was like, it was made for, so everyone can watch it. Kind of. It was super late, but my goals at the Olympic was not trying to win any round because there was so much pressure. I was just like, I'm gonna try to do just the run that I want to do. Try to learn and be better every run, just a little better. And I was fourth after my first final run. It was all good, no panicking. Just go back up. And I was like, you don't think, and you don't stop to the media. I mean, they're gonna be like, oh, why you in fourth place? They're used to seeing me like in first place often. The second run I was second final, second place, perfect. And then for the last run I was like, I know exactly what to do to win now. And I think my first run I scored like 81 or 80. Second run I scored 82, and then last run I scored 86, and boom, won by 4 points the Olympics.
So those runs helped you see what the other guys were doing that you needed to do to beat them?
But no, just from my perspective, like the course was pretty hard, but just know where to accelerate, where to decelerate. And the course was getting worse and worse and worse and worse every run. So just taking all the information, and then the last one was just like exactly what I wanted. And that was the best feeling, is just I stuck to my plan. I didn't try to win the final one or the final two. It's like the goal was to arrive at the last run and be the guy that kind of had the best build up. Because the judges, they were seeing it, like didn't start it at my best, but they were seeing every run I was like figuring out stuff, and like and then the last run is like I didn't do any mistake, and that gave me the gold medal on very difficult condition. I mean, still up to in the last 4 years, that was the hardest course we had, and it was at the Olympics. There was so much impacts. Like the faces of the bumps were like bulletproof. Like it was so hard, like icy, and it was cold, so your muscle are not like, it's hard to wake up your muscle when it's super cold. I mean, when your fingers are almost frozen, your face is like, it's like, so that was, it's a good feeling when you make it happen on a tough day.
Yeah, it's crazy to hear the details, because from as someone who's from really the outside, I would have bet easily on you, and that's for anyone who's outside the sport, is like, well, he's winning every event, like there's no doubt he'll win. But then it's not that easy. It's not as if you don't come in there with the win handed to you.
And you're a human. I mean,
anything can happen.
I felt it's not on the same level at all, but when Usain Bolt is in the block, in the start, whatever, for his 100 meters, I was kind of exactly in the same position, but the guy still have to run faster than everyone. I mean, he's not a robot. He's not going to run all the time faster, but like, and he can't miss a start, and he has to like push all the way through. I mean, it's a different sport, but it's kind of like the same feeling-ish that I had. Like, it was like people are waiting for me to win. That's it. There's like me. I was the favorite. The guy that was second in the world was favorite to win a silver medal. The guy that was third in the world was maybe gonna win a silver too.
But what's the results like in your seasons? And like does the second guy always come second and the third one?
No.
Because in slopestyle there's a lot of variation. Some guy might win, and if he's not on a good day, he might get 12th the next competition. Like a lot of people can win a competition in slopestyle if they're on their good day.
If I'm at my best, and someone maybe Ikuma Arishima, Japanese guy, is very good. Ben Cave from France is very good. A guy that's fourth in the world he's older than me. He's from Kazakhstan. He's very good. Swedish guy Walter Wahlberg is young, like 19, 20 years old. He's very good. Matt Graham, that was the silver medalist in Pyeongchang. He's from Australia. He's good. I'd say us that are probably the favorite every race.
Yeah, that you could
Everyone
say
has won in that stack of people.
That you can say are podium contenders.
Yeah, podium contender. And there's more. There's more because there's more people that made it to the podium and stuff. But if we all ski at our best, usually it's us in the top 6. There's other guys that are better in duels, that like Brad Wilson, the kind of guy that in duels is going to be in the top 3. In singles, he's done it. He's won in singles. He's done very well in the past, but like he's more of a duel guy. Yes, there's a lot of guy, but I mean, yeah, it's rarely another name like that. I like all the names that I named. Rarely, it's someone else.
Yeah.
Like outside of that, it's like I don't think it happened in the last 8 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's almost always. Yeah, for sure. I won like 64 races, World Cups. So
that's so much.
It's often similar podium. I think one time before Pyeongchang Olympics, myself, the Kazakh guy Dimitri, and the Australian guy Matt, I think for 3 races in a row we finished 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, same order. Totally different runs, totally different style of skiing, but yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, your Usain Bolt comparison is very good, I think, because I don't know if you've ever seen him before his races, like the 2 minutes leading up to it.
Yeah.
It seems like he's not there, not there in terms of, stress, or like he's laughing and,
he's
doing
confident.
Doing a fist bump with like some kid who's helping out. And, like, is that a way that you kind of, when you were talking about the media pressure and everything, like, what's your 5 minutes leading up to your run, let's say in Pyeongchang, where you're the favorite and the pressure is on, definitely?
Yeah, I mean, that's very good. I mean, you have to, because I know, like, if you look at Bolt, he doesn't look stressed, but for sure he has pressure.
Yeah,
and that's
a way of
for him to, drop the stress. For me, I mean, I'm on top of the course. I'm with my coaches and the staff, like physio and a mental trainer, whatever, from the team at the Olympics at the top. And I remember we had a tent and there was a TV also next to where we were dropping in. Like, there was like a big board. I got up from my last run, unclipped my skis, did like a small warm up. And I just went, my coach was like, we had nothing to say. I mean, we're at the moment, like, he has nothing to like tell me, like,
that you don't already know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more like I come up to him, I'm like, okay, so if I'm a bit faster with my absorption, I keep my hips straight, a bit more straight, we're all good. He looks at me with a smile. We do a knock. And I look at the guys that did their run before, and I know the window's open. So yeah, it's just super simple. I mean, in the start gate, I'm very focused for sure, because it's like the moment when
do
it's
you
like
visualize
like
your run?
10. Yeah, I did like in the 5 minutes before, I did one visualization, but the rest I was just staying loose, didn't want to be too like crisp into the start gate. And then 10 seconds before I drop in, for sure, like I took like a big deep breath and then just went ski my run.
What's in your mind when you're going down? Are you like thinking of what you're doing, or you're just zoning out and just in the moment?
Zoned out. Like, I remember when I crossed the line, at that moment I was like, I know I did no mistake, but I can't remember my run because I was like too focused. I just know I was like I was happy with. I was like, oh shit, what just happened? But like with time after, it kind of came back. Like, I remember when I did the first air and I land and I start skiing, I'm like, perfect. Then I was skiing the medal, and I remember when I passed the part that was very hard before the second air, I was like, holy crap, it's going well. Not really like that, but like,
yeah,
I knew it was going well. And when I land the bottom air, and then I skied down, it goes so fast when you land and you cross the line. When I crossed the line, I was like, I won the Olympics. Like, or like, yes and no, but like, I was like, whatever happens after that, I'm no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the run that I can. If the guy after me beats me, because I was the second last to go, if the guy beats me, like, good for him. But like, I've done everything I wanted. here today.
You definitely didn't fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was kind of nervous to receive my score because you never know. Because I kind of blacked out. In my head, it felt perfect, but I didn't know if there was like few mistakes, because it's like just the moment is just too insane. And then I knew the guy that was leading was 82 something, mid 82s, his score. But my score pops off and it's 86, best score of the night. And the guy that was leading, his best score of the day was still at 82. And the guy went and finished third. And it's crazy. When I saw his run, the guy that was going last, and he kind of like did a small bubble on like the third bump, I was like, oh, holy shit, I just won the Olympics. It's done. It's done. Like he didn't receive a score, but I knew it was like. And then after that, I was just crossing my fingers because my friend Marc Antoine Gagnon was in third place at that moment. So it's just like, maybe the Japanese guy is going to be fourth and Mark's going to be on the podium with me. It's going to be just extra special. But finally he finished third, the Japanese guy. Which was, anyway, it was cool.
So mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Yeah. What a day it was. And after that, it's like you're like sending with full of media stuff. I'm going to show you. Radio-Canada did actually, and CBC did a very nice piece. I didn't even know they were filming me really much. There was always a guy with a camera filming me after I won the Olympics. I didn't know they were like just doing it like a video of what happens when you win the Olympics. And then you can see like all the interviews I did. Like when I won, I remember you go and you do your drug test and then you do like press conference and then you do a million media. Then I did all the live stuff after. So that was TV long. TV shows. Then you go and then I receive a call on my phone. And hello, it was Justin Trudeau on the phone. Prime Minister, just casual little talk. And that was so cool because it was like not formal like we see on TV.
Yeah.
Like Justin Trudeau was just like, hey man, I was watching with my kids at home. It was awesome. Like I've been a skier since a long time and snowboarder and
he used to like teach in Whistler. I have seen photos. Like he was like kind of a ski bum kind of type.
He said it's so awesome and the country is proud, blah blah blah. But it was just like celebrate tonight, have fun. I'm like thank you, and then go do other media. Then they dropped me at my room at 4 a.m. in the village, and I was like.
And you still haven't started partying or anything?
No. But then I know at 6:30 there's a bus picking me up to continue do interviews, and I didn't want to be like go party because the next night at like 7 I was getting my medal. So I got in my room. It's 4 a.m. and I get in my room and there's no one. Like I mean, we had like a condo in the Olympic Village and my teammates are not there. Coaches are not there. I change very fast. And I go to the athlete lounge and everyone is waiting for me. It's 4 a.m. Everyone got home like, I don't know what time. I did all my interviews. It was 4 a.m. Everyone was waiting for me with a big bottle of champagne and beers everywhere. And everyone was, at that time, it's 4 a.m. Everyone is pretty drunk, like the coaches and the staff, the physio, my teammates. And it was so cool because they waited for me until 4 a.m. No matter what time I was coming in, they say, we're going to party until you arrive. So I arrived and they were just like filling me like huge glass of champagne and we were like drinking, chugging. And so I ended up going and taking my shower at like 5 something. Then I did like my post because I was like, yeah, it's cool. I start receiving more message than I ever got in my life. I mean, it's like my phone was like blowing off of stuff. So as then I didn't go to bed. I tried to sleep for maybe a half hour, but I never fell asleep. Then the next morning I go and do more interview, get my medal, and then we partied all night. So I think for maybe 48 hours I didn't sleep at all.
Damn.
But I had like the adrenaline and the energy to do that. And it's funny because like 2 days after I won the Olympics, no more voice. Like
you were burnt out.
Yeah, my voice, I couldn't talk. I was like speaking like that, It's crazy, yeah.
Then you must have slept like 20 hours in a row.
Yeah, But I mean, there was party all the time. And what's cool about the Olympic and moguls is we finish day 3. So you're done and you can stay the whole Olympic Games, the whole rest of the games, and you can go and watch whatever you want. You get tickets for anything. So, and every day there is people finishing. So day 4, there's like whatever sport is done. Day 5, the slopestyle is done. Then there's another party. There's another one. And then the bobsleigh is done. And they say, the mogul guy, come party with us. And then
you party with every sport that is
yeah,
on
then
the
you party with
mode.
everyone until the last one. Usually, like in Sochi, that was cool. I don't know if you like hockey or you know, but yeah. So the last day in Sochi, we get invited to Team Canada's party for the hockey team. And you get there and you start like drinking with beers with like Crosby, Jonathan Taves, Carey Price, Drew Doughty. It's just like the best guys in the league just around you.
That usually you wouldn't mingle with.
No, yeah. You feel like you can, but at that time they dress the same as you. You know, they have their Canada gear, and you realize they're just normal people. Like they're incredibly wealthy, but like they're just sick people. I mean, it was just so cool. Like I remember I was like just chilling, and there was like Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf playing beer pong next to me and just chatting, and that's cool.
Yeah. What was your biggest like not starstruck moment, but who were you the most down to chill with at that point?
I think it's Sidney Crosby. I mean, because he's Crosby.
He's like the GOAT.
Before like they won gold, I went to like there was like a lounge. It's called the NHL PA lounge. It's like for the players from any teams, any country, with their family. They can go there and have lunch and a drink. And I don't know how, but I get the access to go there and grab like a little beer, a little sandwich. On the table right next to me, there's Sidney Crosby. And he like turns around at some point. And I hate to say that, like go and tap on someone's shoulder when he's eating, like, hey, can I have a picture? But then he looks like he turns to me and he like does that because he sees like I'm Canadian, and he's like, hi. I'm like, hi, hey, when you're done eating, can we take a picture? I'm a big fan. I told him that. He's like, yeah, no problem. I'm finishing my burger, and then we'll take a picture. Then I was done eating, so instead of just like waiting and for him like next to him, I go farther. I go grab another beer and chill with my teammates, and then after I let him, do his stuff. And when I turn around like a half hour later, he was like gone. I was like, damn, I missed my chance. In the Olympic Village, it's very hard to find Crosby. He's Sidney Crosby. I mean, he's a star amongst the athletes, Yeah. And we're going to the closing ceremony before we get invited to the Team Canada party. And me and Mark and Phil, my teammates, were like kind of like the last guys to get in the line of Team Canada. But then the hockey players, they just won gold, so they arrive a bit later, like 10 minutes later. We're about to get into the stadium and walk the closing ceremony. And someone taps my shoulder. And that's like a week after the story that I told you. And it's Sidney Crosby. He's like, hey, you still want your picture? I was like, holy, that's awesome. And I think that was a starstruck moment for me. That moment when he tapped my shoulder, he's like, hey, you remembered that I asked for a picture. So he's like, okay, he's a nice guy. And then we took a picture. And we walked the closing ceremony. I have actually a video. Like I'm walking the closing ceremony with my phone, and I just turned. There's like Crosby's just like walking next to me. It's just like it's unreal. And then
that's such a sick story.
Yeah. It's a cool story. I mean, I saw Sean White. I saw him in the village eating at the McDonald's, and it didn't really starstruck me. I was like, Sean White. It's cool.
It's kind of, you're used to it in the snow sport.
Yeah, exactly.
Scene.
Like Lindsey Vonn. I mean, on Winter Olympics, they are maybe the biggest names. Yeah. Like the hockey players are the biggest guy, and names after that is
Sean White, Lindsey
Vonn.
And then you're amongst those names.
Now maybe, maybe.
Yeah,
I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of athletes. I mean,
you won the Olympics, you accomplished your goal, and then you were, hanging out, partying. Were the hockey players in in that mindset?
In 2014, yeah, because they won, and it was just one day, but yeah, they were. That was cool.
Kind of going to other events and stuff like that.
Not the hockey players. They were going to other events, but not partying because until they win gold. And when they win gold, it's the last day, so they leave after. Yeah. So they just actually do a big party one time, and it's the biggest one if they win. In 2018, yeah, I just went to many. I did went to many parties, and yeah, you meet a lot of cool people along the way.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's like just pretty much Olympians and few people, sponsors or family members, or it's a very good vibe. It feels like everyone is happy and everyone worked hard, and some people are a bit like, I wish I would have done better, but most of the people are just like, it's a good time.
Yeah, everyone's happy to be there.
Yeah, and yeah, it's crazy. Like just a gold medal is like a pass to do whatever you want when you win.
Oh yeah.
Like my team. I didn't like to do that, but at the same time, like it's the only time, like for 2 weeks, you can use that. I bring my gold medal in my pocket everywhere. There's a lineup for a club. You just flash it. You get in and you get a bottle for free. So
yeah, might as well use it.
They are happy because like most of the time we were the first one to show up with the medal, and if we were going like to Seoul or whatever, Pyeongchang, the bars of the whatever, flash your medal, you get free stuff.
After Pyeongchang, it's now been 2 full seasons.
Yeah,
well, one and a half with COVID, let's say.
Yeah, well, we got 2 events canceled last year.
Oh, okay.
So it's still like 2 full years. So it's 2 very good full years.
And how have those been for you?
Very good. 2019, I won both World Championship and I won the Crystal Globe. Yeah, last season I think was my best of my career because I won 7 event out of 10, and the 3 times I wasn't on the top of the podium, I was second.
That's bad.
That's bad. No, but like is the best year by far because I didn't miss any podium. The level of skiing by everyone was better, so it's like a hard year to win. And every time I finished second, the race after I won. So it's like I won the first event, I finished second the second event, then I won the third event, then I won 3 in a row, then I finished second, I won again, I finished second, then I won again. So it's
great season overall.
Yeah, very good season. Like I mean, and every time I finish second, I've been beating by awesome run, but like my run was a winning run, kind of. It's just every time I finish second, also it's the same guy that won, the Japanese.
Okay.
And he sent it, and it is awesome skiing.
So now you're 28.
Yeah.
Where does that rank in modern moguls? Are you kind of an old person now?
Kind of old. I mean, yeah, I'm at the age people usually stops, or depends on your injury.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, you're injury free as of now.
Yeah.
For your
There's
whole
people
career.
that went into their 30s. There's people that stopped earlier than that. It depends. But yeah, I'm considered mostly an old mogul skier.
Where do you see yourself heading in terms of do you see one more Olympics? Do you take it one at a time?
Minimum, yeah. Next Olympics, I want to keep going after 2022, but it will be different. I mean, I bought some gym equipment. I bought an Olympic trampoline for my backyard. Plan to build a house or buy a new house in Saint-Sauveur. And yeah, just be more home, choose my training camp, choose my races more.
Some people in sports, a lot of people in sports have been, keeping up older. Like in football, there's Tom Brady, who's still playing in his 40s. In tennis, there's Federer, who's like, 40? Maybe?
Yeah, he's 39.
Late 30s.
Yeah.
And, for not Brady, but Federer, what he does is he does less events.
Yeah, he chooses events.
Yeah, exactly. Is that something that you could do as a mogul skier? Say, I do less events, but so that I'm,
more. For sure. I mean, I'll see where I'm at this point, but I'll choose my battles. And I just want to, I think after 2022 to be more home. less travel, like less like, okay, I'm gonna go train in Whistler for 2 weeks and then go back home and then go back to Whistler, then go to Australia, Perisher, and less of that, more like I stay home, I bounce on my tramp, I have my gym. If I want to have a family, I can start having a family. I take care of my house, I relax, and then more around September, October, I go do a training camp in Switzerland. And I'm in like very good shape, and then I start the season, and then I choose if I don't want to go to Kazakhstan or whatever, some event, I don't go. I shoot more for the major events. Yeah, we'll see from where I'm at. I mean, it's been 9 years in a row I'm winning.
Yeah, we're looking at your living room that is filled with crystal globe.
Yeah, so at some point, if I have the most of, I just want to beat Lindsey Vonn.
What's the most?
I think it's 20, 21.
20
crystal globe.
Yeah, but as a racer, there's more disciplines.
Yeah, but right now I have 18.
Oh.
It's so 9 years in a row, but I won both.
Definitely doable.
Yeah, well, this year I can even earn, I think it's 20 or 21. So, yeah, it's doable. But once I have it, then I can be like, yeah, good.
Yeah, that's pretty much the last thing, because you're a record holder and everything. Well, maybe
wins, podiums, world championship medals.
Maybe Olympic medals.
No, well, I have 2 Olympic medals, but the fact we have one event, it's kind of hard. In mogul skiing, the most is 3. A girl has a gold, silver, bronze. I have a gold, silver. And Bilodeau has 2 golds. Yeah. I have a gold and silver, so I have the chance to be the first guy that has 3 Olympic medals. It would be cool if I have whatever it is. For sure, 2 goals would be the best. We'll see. Like, I'll go 1 year at a time after 2022, but main goal is 2022 and then 2023 and until 2020. It would be cool to go to 2026, but I mean, it's too far ahead to tell.
As of now, there's no talks of moving 2022 with COVID and everything. Like, I know, they moved Tokyo this summer.
Tokyo is going to be in 21.
But there's no, there's still time ahead for...
Yeah, there's still... I think it's going to happen in 2022. Yeah. They're going to do next summer. What I've heard is they say Tokyo, it's going to happen no matter what. And then 2022 is probably going to happen. I hope so. Well, it needs to happen.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And it was fun to go back into old stories and talk about moguls and park and
really good stuff. to hear about your whole story and the behind the scenes. I wish you a great season ahead. Hope there's not much COVID involved and a lot of not many second places and a lot of first places.
Yeah, I'll try. And this year I'm gonna give away every of my wins. I'm giving away $500 to the Breakfast Club of Canada for the kids, because with COVID it's been very hard for the kids when they go to school. The clubs are not open because of COVID, and 1 kid out of 3 in Canada is crazy. That's coming to school with no breakfast in the morning. So if I can raise a bit of money, and that's a start, and I can help them.
Yeah, and definitely a lot of awareness with your...
And it's extra motivation for me. Yeah. It's cool to be involved with other stuff than just skiing.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
So here it is, episode 4 out of the way. I want to thank Mick for having me at his place, and I want to thank the sponsors, Access Boardshop and Treefort Lifestyles. Also, if you want to support the podcast, go give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and a subscription on your favorite podcast platform. Peace.